Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Appreciate you jumping on, and Happy New Year to everyone out there. I hope 2025 is a great year for all of you, not only in the crypto sector, but overall in life. So in today's episode, we are going to have a great video from Mr. John Deaton sitting down with Digital Perspectives and Brad Kime. So stay tuned for that, along with a lot of other great news. First, let's dive into some pricing, and you can see here prices are starting to tick up immediately in 2025. Why is that? In the case of Bitcoin, a lot of times people are playing with their taxes, so they're getting rid of certain investments, things of that nature. So you see Bitcoin kind of stay steady or go down like we saw in December, and now it's already shooting back up. Up 3.37% is Bitcoin, sitting at 97,209. Ethereum at the number 2 spot, up 4.5% in the last 24 hours, sitting at 3,492. XRP back at the number 3 spot, has taken over Tether. They have the same market cap at this point, 138 billion. And XRP is up 9.4, it just changed. It's up 10.72% in the last 24 hours, sitting at $2.40. Tether at the number 4 spot, and Solana sitting at the number 6 spot, up 9% over the last 24 hours, sitting at 208.29. So great to see some positive movement with the top tokens. Let's move into some news as we dive into 2025 here, ladies and gentlemen. Coming in from Smoke Dog, he says, remember, Ripple's International Bank Partnership Network provides coverage for 90% of the global financial system. XRP, 90% of the financial system's rail. Let's take a listen to this video Smoke Dog has provided us.
To adopt XRP. We don't see a major challenge to adoption, to be honest. We've got a lot of deep dialogue running with regulators. The Bank of England ran a proof of concept using Ripple in the spring, and the bank is one of the most conservative, highly regarded institutions worldwide. So we haven't got issues with our regulatory support. Again, because the currency has been designed from the outset for transacting, it kind of puts us in a very strong position with the establishment. In terms of adoption, it's really about using the banks which were shown in the earlier slide to create the initial network. Once we scale, and the banks we're working with together would allow around a 90% coverage of the world's global networks. So by getting those banks into multi-corridor volume, which is our current phase, that makes it much easier for other banks to come online, makes it easier for banks to apply XRP. We're having some great dialogue with banks around the world about using XRP. We actually ran our first XRP liquidity pilot with a company called Qualix in the US in the third quarter this year, where we made payments from the US to Mexico. The dollars went in, translated to XRP. XRP delivered on the blockchain to Mexico, translated to Mexican pesos. And actually, the banks involved asked Ripple to slow down the middle part because we were delivering the payments too quickly for the banks to digest. So, we had a kind of speed problem in the other extreme, if you like. But we are actively using XRP in that mode. Does Ripple impact?
There you have it. Kind of hard to hear that video. Hope you could hear it okay. Basically, they said in some cases, Ripple is moving too fast for the banks. The banks are asking them to slow down. But listen, Ripple is waiting for one thing, and that's regulatory clarity here in the U.S. And they've made the connections with banks. They've been working with banks overseas for a long time, and have a couple major banks in the U.S. already set up and ready to go, just waiting for that financial clarity. And then you're going to see this 90% of the financial system rails kick in for sure. Moving on to Stuart Alderati here. He posts in regards to 2025. Excuse me, let me mute that video again. He posts in regards to 2025 here. Let's hope these principles won't need repeating in 2025 and beyond. The SEC only has jurisdiction over security transactions. Number two, selling the gold bar with a contractual right, title, or interest in my gold mine, like a security transaction. Selling the same gold bar without post sale rights or obligations, just an asset sale, the SEC can't police it. The SEC's reach doesn't expand based on a self serving view of who it thinks is more deserving of disclosures. A token is never a security, although it can be the subject of a security transaction. The notion that a token can evolve from a security to a non security is a made up fallacy with no footing in the law. And then you see the first comment is here is from Meta Lawman, and he's saying check, 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 check. And then he says, number five, I would say almost never. In the very rare case where a token gives the holder a right to distributions, dividends, or equity equivalent rights in the underlying project that issued the token, then it might be a security. So, Stuart Alderati just getting his point across here as we head into 25, and I think he knows things are going to change as soon as Gary Gensler's out the door. So that will happen in the very near future. Mr. Mann coming in here, he says, if anyone would like to monitor the XRPL, here you go. And he's retweeting XRPL win, which you guys can follow. And he says, the XRP monitor is live. Watch the consensus happening in real time. So you can see what's on this database as it relates to the XRPL. If you're a developer, or if you're just interested in this kind of thing, feel free to screenshot this and or give XRPL Win a follow on X, because they've got this monitor set up and ready to go. Moving on to Riz here, and Mr. John Deaton was on with Brad Combs of Digital Perspectives here, talking about the Ripple case and how it could go to the Supreme Court. So let's take a listen to this brief video.
There's an argument out there that it's good for crypto if we're not going to get legislation quickly in the next 2 years, that we rely on the Supreme Court to give us that clarity. And I would suspect Ripple would win at the Supreme Court. Now, the reality is no one wants that overhang. It's going to affect price. So hopefully this incoming administration can act very quickly and give us the legislation we need. I would tell you this, I was promoting Brad Bondi to be the next chair. Nothing against Paul Atkins, but I know Brad Bondi, and Brad Bondi would have went in there. People would have got fired quickly, and he would have absolutely said, let's take a vote right now to dismiss this case. Let's take a vote right now to whether or not we dismiss the Coinbase case. And I don't know if Paul Atkins is going to be that aggressive. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think he's going to be obviously amazingly better than Gensler, but will he be that aggressive? Will he come in and be like, well, litigation that's already happened, let's see how it plays out? Or is he going to just favor certain industries or certain players in the industry? We'll see. Hopefully Ripple has positioned itself with the incoming administration and others in a positive way.
Good stuff there from John Deaton and Brad Combs. Now, listen, we are not going to find out on January 20th. I mean, Paul Atkins is not going to be in place yet. And of course, it's going to take some time for them to get some stuff done. So this stuff, the case reversal likely will not happen immediately unless something happens in Congress, which we know they never work fast, right? So be patient, but I think we are going to see some changes in the first half, if not the first quarter of 2025. Mr. Mann coming in here saying another country just banned Bitcoin. Breaking, Cambodia's central bank approves compliant stablecoin services but bans Bitcoin because of its decentralized nature, makes regulation, taxation, and ownership tracking challenging. So there you have it. Cambodia, I forget who the first country was, or a recent country was that also banned Bitcoin because of the fact that it goes up and down so much, they just are not going to do it. So, but that being said, a lot of countries are going to be doing the strategic reserve as well. So we're going to have a balance, and I think some of the bigger countries are going to go forward with the strategic reserve. Coming in here from XRP Drops, he says, is SPI Holdings becoming MicroStrategy of XRP? SPI Holdings investment and XRP are worth around $1.6 trillion, 10 billion in yen. This is higher than SPI's market cap of 1.2 trillion yen. So they are looking and asking SPI to possibly do what MicroStrategy is doing with Bitcoin, but instead using XRP. Let's take a listen to Mr. Paul Barron here, who does a terrific job on his channel breaking this down. Take a listen.
And that's not really the end of it. You have to look elsewhere and from a global perspective. And we've talked about this before. SPI Holdings, their critical position, not only with Ripple, but just in the banking system within Asia. And I want to show something here. SPI Holdings, XRP is worth around, they have holdings right now. Let me kind of zoom in on that for you guys. Their XRP is worth around 1.6 trillion, $10 billion, and this is in yen. This is higher than SPI's market cap of 1.2 trillion yen. So they actually have more value in XRP than they do in the company value itself. So are they becoming the MicroStrategy of XRP? Well, there's some things that could possibly predicate that that is actually what's going on here. I want to show you something right here. This was a press release that they had. This was a letter to their CEO. And this came in from the Global Special Situations Fund. And they hit on a few things here. I want to go into a couple of the items that they were asking for. This is kind of showing their stock price when there was even a potential, let me kind of zoom in on that for you guys, a potential of them selling XRP. This is what happens to their stock price. So what they said is we've got to kind of protect against that. So let's do this. We believe that shareholders would greatly benefit if, these were the things that they were hitting in, SPI would publish a daily live indirect value of its XRP holdings, number one. They would also create a strategy in blockchain technology and cryptocurrencies, so have a business that's built around this. Sound very familiar to you? There's another popular company out there that's doing this now. And then three, it says that SPI should have an active and public XRP coin buying program. Rather than pay cash dividends, SPI shareholders would benefit greatly if they would do a buyback program by recycling part of its cash flow and going into both banking and the security side of their business. I want to show you the CEO of SPI. Take a look.
何週間かで裁判所の結論が出ると彼は考えてるみたいです。結論が出てリップルの XRP がコインだということになると、これは大変な値段になると思います。我々外部の筆頭株主ですから、大変なキャピタルゲイン、売ればキャピタルゲインでリアライズされますけど、売れなくても相当なものになるだろうというふうに評価上ですね、思ってます。多分結論がポジティブに出ればすぐにマネジメントは株式公開に踏み切るというふうに思います。
I want to go to a tweet from that CEO, and here's what he said, translated. Ripple should begin preparing for its IPO as soon as possible as once the SEC matter is resolved. This is going to happen in early January, so we could see something maybe being announced. Don't know if that's going to happen, but that would be a calendar date that I'd be watching for is mid-January. So, and the point being is that this is exactly what MicroStrategy has been doing, selling stock to go out there and leverage back in on Bitcoin. Same thing that could be happening here with XRP. So this is getting interesting, guys. Very, very interesting.
Very interesting indeed. Well said. Great segment there by Mr. Paul Barron. Think about that. If we get the clarity we need from Congress or the SEC drops the case against Ripple, SBI, who's a major partner of Ripple, believes they will IPO in 2025, which that takes some time, so it could lead into 2026, but that is huge for them and to move forward. So great stuff from Mr. Paul Barron. Appreciate you guys jumping on. Do me a favor, hit that like and subscribe button. Follow me on X at Orlando Mott, and we will see you on the flip side.